There's nothing more frightening than to think you might be losing your mind or your memory. Oh, and others tell you you're on edge with them and the world all the time, and you do catch yourself snapping at everybody, even snapping turtles. Then you can't sleep, and you find yourself having bad thoughts. You know, the kind of thoughts you can't really tell anybody about. So you go to TV and Facebook and all those blurbs, they tell you it's to be expected. You are getting older. Ugh. Don't know if you like that. So you go to your doctor and she pulls out yet another script. And you find yourself taking medication to counteract the side effects of the medication side effects that she just gave you last time. And those counteracting side effects, oh, what a vicious cycle. But you take them because it's what the world tells you to do. My doctor says. But has it ever crossed your mind that those very drugs that are being pushed on you to cure everything might be the very cause of your mental challenges? Yes, my friends, everything I just told you about happened to me. I did not know that the side effects from many commonly used medications, even seamlessly harmless OTC, over-the-counter meds, can be the root cause of clinical depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts. Well, how can this be? Well, I'll tell you, federal law does not ban drug companies from advertising any kind of prescription drugs, even the ones that cause severe injury, addiction, or withdrawal effects. Now, the FDA does have rules for what drug advertisers must tell consumers. They can not be false or misleading information about the drug. They have to present a fair balance of risk and benefit information. They have to include facts that are material to the product's advertising uses. And then they have to include a brief summary of risks described in the product's labeling. And if you notice, they do this really, really fast at the end. May cause death or mental challenges. Over your head. Well, they don't want you really to hear that. They're required by law. You notice that requirements didn't say that they have to say a list of all of the side effects. No, they get to choose which ones. Whew. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. I am not against pharmaceuticals. Drugs saved my son's life. There's a time and place for everything, to be sure. And personally, I don't want surgery without anesthesia. But what I am saying is this. We, as consumers, need to be aware of the side effects of the drugs we are taking so we can make good, informed decisions about our health. And today I will share my experiences in the hopes you or someone you know can benefit. So, let me start. I was on semester break. All of my students left and I went down to go visit my mother. But beforehand, you see, I had extreme allergies. It was spring break, allergies to pine pollen. And if you've ever been to North Carolina, you know it is just the haven for pine pollen. What's pine pollen? It's like tiny specks of green flower, light green, and it gets everywhere. Your clothes, your hair, your windowsills, your car. You can write little notes to yourself on it. It's just something we have to live with in North Carolina. Anyway, I was at my doctor's for a checkup, and he said, you know, Susan, you really should take some Claritin D. I said, isn't that over the counter? And he said, yeah, that decongestant will really help clear you up. Well, I had a lot of singing to do, and I was stuffy, and I was like, oh, I might as well give it a try. I mean, I usually choose nutraceuticals over, and believe me, I did. I had so much alfalfa, I was almost starting to moo. But anyway, so I tried it. Now, these are the times, too. I'll tell you, I was under a lot of stress and had anxiety, a lot of things to be anxious about going on in my life. So the fact that I felt anxious all the time, I didn't question it. But as I said, I went down to my mom's, and because she lived in Florida, I stopped taking it. And 4 or 5 days, oh, I was so relaxed, having such a good time. And of course, I automatically thought, well, this is just because I'm down on vacation. So I was heading back, and I decided to take a Claritin D, and within 30 minutes, that extreme anxiety overtook me. Now, I was not smart enough at the time to connect those dots. I just thought, well, you're going back into all that anxiety life of yours. But the next day, I ran out, so I didn't take it. And interestingly enough, there I was, and I was feeling good. No anxiety. I could handle the stress. And then I went and got some, took it, and within 30 minutes, bam, that anxiety, started coming. Then I connected the dots. Whoa, Susan, get off this stuff. I did. That anxiety left. Okay, second experience. I had a terrible, terrible sinus infection. It was bacterial, so I knew I needed an antibiotic. I mean, fever, bacteria, the whole thing. I went to my doctor, who was also a friend of mine. He's an ENT. And he said, there's this brand new drug that came out. Now, it's said to have some side effects. So I'm going to write you a script for that one because it's really powerful. And it should knock this out real fast for you. But I'm also going to give you the normal one, okay? Because you get side effects. You experience side effects. Oh, it is so true. I tell you, I could save the pharmaceutical companies zillions of dollars a year instead of having them go through all those clinical trials. No, give it to Susan. She'll tell you in about 8 hours every single side effect that drug has. I am that sensitive. I truly have a super sensitive sympathetic system. Anyway, so I got the drugs, and that evening I took it. And the doctor did tell me that he said, listen, Susan, if you do get a side effect here, stop taking it immediately. Well, I asked him, what side effects am I looking for? He said, I don't want to tell you because I don't want you to have auto-suggestion. Okay, he said, if you do, you'll know. Great, okay. Like I said, I went home and I took it. And I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning with a doomsday feeling, like the world was coming to an end, like I did not want to live anymore. Truly. And all of you who know me, that is so not like me, even dire, times that like, I can pull myself out. No, for the first time in my life, I understood what it was like to have a suicidal thought, that life was not worth living. But I was also smart enough to know, hold it, this is not me. The doctor said there might be side effects. So I traipsed over to my computer and I pulled up all of the information. May cause psychosis and a variety of psychiatric symptoms, including suicidal thoughts. Holy Hannah, what the heavens. So, stopped instantly, but I couldn't go back to bed because, these thoughts were starting to overtake me. So I read. I had to read for 3 hours until I just felt the side effects go away. But I couldn't help but think after that, my heavens, what could happen to people if they didn't know that that was a side effect of a drug and not really their own mind? My third experience with bad side effects. All the stress I told you about, and plus two, maybe a little bit too much wine and not eating the way I should, my cholesterol shot up to 280. And I have been going to the doctor every 6 months, and she'd watch it go up and up. Susan, I want you on a statin. I'm not going on a statin. Susan, I want you on a statin. I'm not going on a statin. Susan, you're going to go on a statin, or you can never come back here again. I'm going to fire you because you are a walking stroke or heart attack here. Your numbers are horrific, all of them. You've got to do something about it and bring those down. Got me? Well, I didn't want to die. I was thoroughly scared. So I said, okay. She wrote me out a script for Crestor. Now, I started taking this on a trip with my mother and my son. And within a matter of days, it built up. You talk about that same kind of psychosis, bad feelings, paranoia. Oh, my heavens. Plus, my stomach, my gut, malaria would have felt better. But I'm thinking, what do I do? I've got these terrible side effects, but I've got this terrible cholesterol. Fortunately for me, and I kid you not, on this very trip out to California, the company that I partner with introduced their brand new cholesterol reduction complex, which is a natural plant stanol. And from a chemical standpoint, the molecule mimics what cholesterol looks like. So when you take it 30 minutes before a meal, the receptors grab onto it thinking it's cholesterol, and then the cholesterol you eat can go straight through you. I thought, wow, I really honestly felt like I was going crazy. So I ditched the Crestor and I started taking the cholesterol reduction complex religiously. I went back to my doctor in 6 months' time, and my numbers had dropped from 278 to 220. She is, oh, wow, Susan, look at these numbers. Wow, I'm proud of you. That is great. I said, thank you. I didn't take your Crestor. What? Yeah, I showed her what I took. Well, yeah. And I said, Val, look at the numbers. Okay, look where I was. Look where I am now. Okay, and I went on for another 6 months, and I even dropped it to, I think it was like 182. So that's one of the reasons I will always try to choose a nutraceutical first over a pharmaceutical. Last episode was severe side effects for me. It was 3 years ago when I was diagnosed with PTSD, and I had the non-epileptic seizures going on. They were not fun, and they came with just severe migraine headaches and little shakes and jolts. So my doctor pulled out a prescription. She said, listen, this is really mild. It's really effective. It's called Topamax. I will tell you there are 2 side effects. I'm thinking, great. What are they? And she said, well, it will make you sleepy, so take it at night. And a little bit of memory loss, but it's just temporary. It'll come back. I'm thinking, okay, well, fine. I started taking it. Yeah, went to sleep, great. Woke up, went back to sleep, woke up, went back to sleep. But the memory loss, my heavens. I mean, have you ever gone to the bathroom and looked at yourself in the mirror and went, you look familiar. Don't I know you? I mean, seriously. And then I started Googling, finding out there's a reason why that drug has a nickname of Dopamax. Well, we got off that one pretty quickly. I'll share a story of a friend of mine. Now, she is taking very large doses of chemo at the moment. She's very depressed. But she knows that the very drugs that are trying to save her life are causing the depression. Which brings me to my next point. If you must stay on a drug that is causing you to be down, it's better to know the side effects so you know it's not you, but rather the drug interaction. It helps one deal with the facts and to make informed decisions. Now, my friend, she knows that once she stops, she has got the tools that she can build herself back. And she can raise herself out of that chemical depression and get those neurotransmitters back to healthy levels. Again, there are reasons I choose nutraceuticals over pharmaceuticals every chance I get. I'm not a purist. Trust me, I'm not. There's a time and a place for everything. In closing, we need certain medications at times, but sometimes the side effects from many commonly used medications, even seamlessly harmless OTC, over-the-counter meds, can be the root cause of clinical depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple files naming a lot of the drugs and their side effects, and I'm going to put them on YouTube and Facebook that you can pull those up and scroll through. Perhaps you'll get a couple aha moments, and also too, feel free to message me with any question you might have. My friends, no one cares about our health and welfare more than we ourselves. But we need to be proactive and take responsibility for our health. We need to be aware. We need to be educated. We need to ask questions and demand answers. Thank you for listening.